What's going on? It's Quinn, and it is time for today's Logo History Sports Edition. Thanks to Tyler Truckdriver for nominating this team. We're going back to 1885, where they were known as the Kansas City Blues. 16 years later, they moved to Washington, became the Washington Senators, and then 60 years later, they moved to Minnesota, where they became the Minnesota Twins. And this is their logo history. So the Kansas City Blues has been the name of many teams from Major League to Minor League throughout history. I could not find the specific logo for this team. But the Washington Senators are a different story. You see, from 1901 to 1935, they pretty much had the same thing. It was either the word Washington in an arch, or the letter W in a different font and a shade of blue, except for in 1928 when they got really wild and went with red. But actually in 1929 they changed it back to blue because they were like, this is crazy, we can't do this. Then in 1935 they found out that 90 years later I was going to do this series, so they're like, we gotta change the logo here. And so they vastly improved it with this bad boy. And this was their logo for over a decade, where they changed it to this. And it remained their logo until 1958. And it became this for 2 years because in 1960 they would move the team to the great state of Minnesota, where they introduced the world in 1961 to the Minnesota Twins, named after the Twin Cities, Minneapolis and St. Paul. You can tell because there's an M and an ST on the guys. That was the Twins logo from 1961 to 1975. In 1976, they decided to revamp it a bit. They made the Minnesota part a little bit darker blue, and they added the phrase Win Twins on. But it was in 1987 that would be their last logo of the 1900s, because it lasted until 2009, and possibly might be their most recognizable. This logo, which I think is really, really clean. And they liked that logo so much, they kept it when they changed it in 2010. They changed it a little bit, but they kept the idea of it, if that makes sense. It makes sense in my brain. Until 2022, when they introduced their current logo. And that's this bad boy. It stands for Twin Cities. I don't know, there's people online who don't understand that. So, that's what the TC is, Twin Cities. Because the twins and the cities are you get it. Hey, if there's another team or another logo you want me to do the history of, let me know in the comments. Have a great one.